Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we're looking at The Mummy Returns, which came out in 2001, wasn't it? Yep. This is the sequel to The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, Arnold Vosloo, Oded Fehr, and introducing, I believe, his first movie. Yeah, it is his first film, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, moving from the wrestling franchise to the megastar that he is right now. Um, yeah, so The Mummy Returns was a. I remember this one being probably more of a big deal in India, especially where I lived. I think a lot of people loved The Mummy, the first movie, and the sequel was hyped quite a lot of in. At least I remember where I lived. I used to see the posters. I see a lot of people talking about it, and it was pretty much hyped. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I saw this one in the theaters. But it is a pretty good movie. It's a pretty good sequel. Equally as enjoyable. I think the focus on the child may have disappointed me a little bit back then, and I still, when I was rewatching it yesterday, I had the same kind of feeling. But yeah, we also have Patricia Velasquez returning, but this time she's playing a different character. Um, she's playing Mila Nais, who is basically Anuk Sunamun reborn. She's got the same looks, and was the secret lover of Imhotep in the past life, and she was the Pharaoh um, Seti I, I get it, his mistress as well. But here she's playing somebody else. We also got Freddie Boone, who plays Alex O'Connell, Rick and Evelyn's son. They're married, they have a son now, and I'm not really sure how many years has passed. It is supposed to be 1933, so after the events of the first movie, I guess they married, had a son, and they've got John Hannah's character is Jonathan. He also is living with them. So basically, the Scorpion King, Dwayne Johnson's character, was a fearsome warrior who led his army to conquer the world. However, they were eventually defeated and they were exiled to the desert. And there he vows to give Anubis his soul in return for power to defeat his enemies. He does get the powers, and a magical oasis and a golden pyramid is built for him. It just kind of like appears out of nowhere, and he gives the Scorpion King an army of jackal-like warriors to conquer Egypt. However, once he does that, Anubis claims his soul, and the army is returned to the underworld. They basically are going to dust. And in 1933, Rick O'Connell and his wife Evelyn, they find the ancient ruins with their son. They find the bracelet of Anubis. Actually, Alex finds it, and then it latches onto him. When they go back to London, they are attacked by a cult who are trying to resurrect Imhotep with something called the Book of the Dead. Initially, Evelyn is captured and taken away, so it's up to them to go and find where the ceremony is taking place and rescue her. But then they kidnap Alex and they go back to Egypt. Helping them, of course, is the Magi Ardeth Bey, who is trying to stop the return of Imhotep. Of course, once again, there's a big battle, there's a big fight, and then you see the Book of the Dead trying to resurrect Anuk Sunamun's soul into the body, but he what do you call it? They are attacked by these pygmy mummies. I don't know where they got them from, but they kind of resurrect. They're kind of making noises more like monkeys, to be honest. But it's fun to see them attacking the cult, killing them off one by one. And finally, at the end, when Rick and Imhotep are fighting, Imhotep actually manages to summon the Scorpion King, and he attacks both of them. He kills the leader of the cult, and then he attacks them. But finally, they are able to win. The Imhotep is pushed into the underworld basically, he is struggling. Rick is saved, but before he falls in, he calls out to Anck-su-namun, or Mila as her name is right now, and she runs because the pyramid is now crumbling down after Scorpion King is taken back to the underworld. So she leaves. She falls into a pool of those spider thingies. No, sorry, those beetle things that eat the flesh. So she is killed, and he, disappointed that he's been left behind, he jumps into he kind of like jumps back into the underworld and is taken there. So yeah, the army of the those jackal warriors are all sent back into the underworld. The oasis begins to implode. All the greenery is sucked into like a hole kind of thing. Imhotep is gone. Finally, the Scorpion King is killed, and Anck-su-namun is killed as well. Our heroes are rescued at the last moment, and they depart with into the sunset with one of their friends taking them on a big what do you call those, air balloon kind of things. I don't know exactly what they're called. And Arded Bey salutes them as he goes back to his people on his horse, and these guys go back to their life back in London. So that's the movie. Brendan Fraser, of course, at one of his best. Rachel Weisz, obviously brilliant in this. John Hannah, funny, the comic relief as the brother. Arnold Vosloo is a little less villainous in this movie, to be honest, but I still enjoy his performance. Oded Fehr also, I was a big fan of him after seeing these two movies. Really liked his acting. Yeah, and of course this led into the prequel movie of the Scorpion King, and then there were, I think, 4 sequels into it. As for the Mummy, this particular franchise gets only one more sequel, which is the 2008, I believe. The movie is called hold on, I can't remember. The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Yes, it did come out in 2008. This one, like I said, is equally as engaging as the movie. Although, to be honest, watching it now, the CGI is pretty much outdated, to be honest. So I do enjoy this movie a little bit. Sorry, not a little bit, quite a bit. But I can't remember how much I gave the original Mummy. I think I'll give this one an 8. Nothing more than that, because especially with the CGI stuff not looking that great in this film. Now I think it was looked much better back then. So yeah, and of course it gave us the Scorpion King. Although, to be honest, only the first Scorpion King movie was a major film. The rest were, I think, if I'm not mistaken, all straight to video. I plan to watch those as well sometime soon. So that's it for me for The Mummy Returns. And I think the joke that we all used to say is like when our moms used to come, we used to say, "Hey, look, The Mummy Returns." Yeah, that's it for me for The Mummy Returns. Enjoyable film, enjoyable franchise. Take care.